When I saw the news today that Stuart Scott, longtime ESPN anchor, had died of cancer, it reminded me that I'd forgotten that he had cancer to begin with. I had seen in the news somewhere in the last few years, I don't remember when, but Stuart Scott had cancer. And it was one of those things that you just file away, and I heard nothing else about until I found out that he died today. And his age was another part of the story that I was taken aback by, because he was only 49 years old. Now, my mom died at 48. My mother died at 48. I was diagnosed at the age of 37 with bladder cancer. And all of this, it leads me, there have been a lot of Stuart Scott memorials and tributes today. If you go on YouTube and you search for Stuart Scott and then do a search for videos for today, you'll see a whole lot of videos. And I never knew him. I'll admit that he didn't have kind of any emotional impact on me. I wasn't a disciple of his in some way. I neither looked up to him or looked down on him. He was just a guy on ESPN. And I think it would be extremely disingenuous, and I would be pandering to do a tribute video to Stuart Scott. So many other people who knew him have done those videos, and so many other people knew him personally. On a side note here, it's kind of like when my mom died of cancer, and at the funeral I had people coming up to me who would say things like, well, hey, I'm sorry, I know how you feel, it's got to be rough, etc. And I remember saying to one person, and they meant well, but I remember saying something like, well, no, you don't know how I feel, because your mom is still alive. And so I just find that it would be out of place for me to do a tribute to Stuart Scott here in some sort of personal way. But his passing today reminded me just how tenuous all of us have in terms of our hold on life. 49, my friends, is not an old man. He had 2 daughters. One was 14, I think one was 20 maybe. And I'm 46. My mother died when I was 21. And looking back on it, that was 25 years ago. I've lived more of my life since she's been gone than I lived when she was here. I mean, that's the weird thing about time. And yet here I am at 46, and I don't feel old. And I look at Stuart Scott, and I think 49, that's not old, man. And I look around at a lot of people I know that died between the ages of 32. A cousin of mine died last year at 32. And in the early 60s, like my father-in-law did a few years back. And I realize I'm kind of right in the middle of that area. And every time I see something like this in the public, I see a public figure who faces this at such an early age, I'm reminded of something that I've talked to folks on my other YouTube channel about over and over and over and over again. It is that you're coming to a point in your life that's a guarantee. And at that point in your life, you will not say at the end, I sure wish I had more money. You will not say at the end, I sure wish I had more stuff around me. Let me keep something real here for a moment. Have you ever had a cold or the flu or something, or been sick in bed, or even had a broken leg? I mean, just something that sidelined you for a week or two or a month, or just a period of your life that in the overall picture is not long, but at the time it feels like a long time. We all have been. But let me prove to you why at the end of your life, you will not be begging for sacks of cash. When you're in bed and you're not feeling well, and you're looking at that clock on the wall and it feels like it's ticking backwards, you're not in those moments, even suspecting that you'll make it to the other side. You're not even in those moments thinking, man, I sure wish I had a whole bunch more money right now. You're thinking, man, I wish I felt better. I wish I could get up and do what I normally do, or spend more time with my friends and family and all that. And one thing I notice about my own life, and I think some of you can this will resonate with, is it's very easy for us to think, man, I sure wish I'd feel better soon so I can go out and do all these wonderful things I want to do. But as soon as you get better, it becomes a distant memory every single second from the time you were better until the next time you get sick. It's just a distant memory how desperately you wanted simply to feel better. And then you go through the rest of your life until you get sick again, chasing after stuff that ultimately, when you're back sick, or someone you know passes away that you're close to or whatever, you realize, oh yeah, I just wasted a whole bunch of time chasing a whole bunch of meaningless stuff, and here I am again. As I've gotten older, I have become way more cognizant during those down times of what I'm truly thankful for and what I truly am striving for. I'm way more interested now to find ways to spend more quality time with people around me, to enjoy the life that I've got, and not be so worried about extending my life, but enjoying the life that I've got. And doing so, I say enjoy, what I mean is to live the life that I'm supposed to live as fully as I can. My grandmother, when her and my grandpa went into an assisted living facility back in the 1990s, early 1990s, was in really great health, and so was my grandpa. And I asked my grandma, I said, why are y'all moving out of the house that you live in this assisted living facility? Because you guys are in great health. You're still working, for example. Grandpa's still working. You know, you're still doing all the things you used to do, albeit a little bit slower sometimes, but why are you going there now? Part of that was my being selfish because their house was something that I remembered when I was a kid being this wonderful place. All the wonderful times I had as a kid were at my grandpa's house. And my grandma told me something that I have never forgotten, and I hope that you will take away from this video now and you will use for the rest of your life. No matter how long you live, I hope the words I say next, as told to me by my grandmother, will have an enormous impact with you. My grandmother said, "We have chosen to live in this assisted living facility because we wanted to make the choice when we could make it ourselves and not when we were forced to make it somewhere down the road." And I don't know what you're doing with your life, and I don't know what's important to you, and I don't know, you and I have only the relationship, my voice to your ears. But whatever it is that's important to you and whoever those people are, why don't you take the time today to do the best you can at ensuring that you can continue to spend the time you need with those people. And look around you at the decisions that you may put off till somewhere down the road. That if you make the decisions today, you have a choice in. But somewhere, maybe after you're gone, you'll have no say in the matter whatsoever. And the ultimate choice you can make with your time will be, if you're done listening to me, do you turn to someone you know, a wife or a child, a friend, anybody? Do you turn to someone you know and say, before it's too late, before I can't make this choice, I want you to know how much I love you, how much you mean to me, and how much I want to spend more time with you before ultimately both of our times have come to an end. Thanks for watching this video. This is the first entry on my new channel. I don't mean to begin on a down note. I'm actually very positive and very hopeful. But I believe that Stuart Scott's passing today gave me an opportunity to talk with you about something that I don't know how many of you thought about today. And I hope it meant something to you. If it did, please share this video with others. And if you like this sort of discussion, if you want to get deep into some of the things that I want to get into, please make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're not already a subscriber. Tell folks about it, and I'll see you next video.